for my actions, for what's obviously out there.
Dramatic turns and turns are the order of the day, as Kevin Hunter, the once charming ex-partner of media mogul Wendy Williams, finds himself on the verge of homelessness, health issues, and debt. Rumor has it that he's even attempting to avoid the clutches of incarceration. In a rather audacious move, he approached the courts seeking Wendy's financial support through resumed alimony payments. For my actions, for what's obvious out there, clearly out there. His days of carelessly swiping credit card bills appear to be over as OBS Bank has filed a lawsuit against him. Not only that, but he's even persuaded the courts to hear his claim of being wrongfully fired from the Wendy Williams show. It's as though he has an insatiable appetite for the limelight, but for all the wrong reasons. But wait, there's more lawsuit looming over Kevin's head that could be the last straw. According to our sources, Kevin obtained a Visa signature card in 2014, but failed to make the required payments. As things fall apart for Kevin, we find ourselves glued to what might be the biggest collapse, as UPSA's legal filings note defendant has failed to make the minimum monthly payments by the payment due date as required by the card member agreement, suggesting Kevin owes a whopping $20,000, plus additional charges. Narrative of the year following his high-profile split from Wendy Williams, Kevin Hunter, also known as the man by Williams' side, is now suffering from the consequences of an extravagant lifestyle. Most recently, he had to part ways with his grand Florida mansion, a space that once echoed his prosperity. It was difficult. It was very public. It was like any other divorce. Sand sold for $125 million. The property boasted 5 spacious bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and spanned an impressive 3,500 square feet in the upscale Parkland, Florida. He had lived there for 3 years with his girlfriend Sharina Hudson, and during that time, he shared its comforts. Kevin had previously stated that he intended to start over when he bought this estate after his divorce for a hefty $795,000. But as we just learned, his finances went south when Wendy Williams allegedly stopped sending Hunter her monthly alimony payments after a legal battle with Wells Fargo. "I want my money, this is unfair, and Wells Fargo won't answer any of my inquiries." The television star, who said she was the victim of financial exploitation and that her finances were frozen, has left Kevin struggling to make ends meet. Due to this change in luck, he had to resort to desperate measures. Kevin's pleas in court highlighted his precarious situation, noting, "I have fallen behind on most of my bills. I currently live in a community that requires IRS payments to the Homeowners Association, and I'm behind on that bill. If the Homeowners Association fees are not paid, foreclosure will soon follow." He also expressed, "I'm behind on credit card payments because I have no money since the severance payments were suspended. My life has been greatly affected since the plaintiff stopped making payment." As under our settlement agreement, though he made attempts to retain his alimony from Wendy, the court, unsympathetic to his cause, deemed it non-emergent, leaving him in even greater financial distress. His troubles didn't end there, with a credit card debt of $2,000 looming large at B-Bank. USA took legal action against Hunter. Such a sequence of events paints a stark contrast to the Kevin Hunter, who once stood tall in the world of television production. As these developments continue to unfold, we remain watchful, tracing the trajectory of a man who once had it all. Amidst this stormy weather, Kevin Hunter found himself fighting in the courts once more, this time vehemently requesting that alimony payments continue. Kevin insisted again and again that his alimony payments abruptly stopped because of Wendy's tumultuous connection with Wells Fargo, which resulted in the bank freezing her accounts for fears of financial exploitation. In the midst of her ongoing legal battle with Wells Fargo Bank, which she claims froze her accounts for 2 months, Wendy Williams is demanding access to her money. She expressed her frustration, saying, "When I started asking questions about my money, suddenly Lori Schiller has got no response regarding my money." Despite these setbacks and the recent courtroom disappointment, Wendy Williams remains undeterred. Kevin changed course and focused his legal pay attention to the Wendy Williams show, suing the producers for an enormous $10 million. How dare you, behemoth, to become involved in the lawsuit? The core of Kevin's arguments was that his termination as executive producer of The Wendy Williams Show was a direct result of his divorce from Wendy. Legal documents highlight Kevin's contributions, highlighting his use of both street smarts and business acumen to secure better deals for Williams as evidence of their collaborative efforts. In the 10 a.m. slot, The Wendy Williams Show ruled supreme, setting a record that hasn't been surpassed. When they decided to part ways in January 2020, Kevin proudly mentioned his involvement in iconic segments like Wendy's Show and Hot Topics. He also emphasized having the final say on guest appearances, and, most importantly, he helped bridge the racial gap between the show and the African American community. Okay, so I got fired, but it's important to note the significant role Kevin played in Wendy's evolution from radio to TV. In an honest conversation with Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show, Wendy discussed her life after divorce. "I don't regret staying with him for the entire 25 years, 21 of which were married," she thought. She also recalled, "I don't recommend that you work with your husband because I made him my manager, and then when I decided to divorce him, he had to be fired. In other words, I made him divorced and unemployed all in one day." Reports from reliable outlets such as People, E! News, and Page 6 alluded to a mutual agreement post-divorce, wherein neither party would receive alimony payments from the sale of their New Jersey residence. Additionally, Kevin was expected to give Williams his entire stake in their production company, Wendy Inc. However, Wendy revealed to host Derek Monroe that she was actually paying her ex-spouse alimony. Williams boasted about a well-known incident involving the towing of a gold Ferrari, which was gifted to Hunter's mistress and purchased with Williams' money. I concurred. Rumor has it that Kevin dated Sharina Hudson for 10 years. Interestingly, Kevin is said to have purchased Hudson a $765,000 house, which is conveniently close to his marital residence with Wendy. When the curtains fall on Kevin Hunter's grand act, we find him facing a multitude of troubles, almost fitting the very plot of a Shakespearean tragedy. The man who once stood tall beside media sensation Wendy Williams is not only facing bankruptcy, but is now caught in a whirlwind of legal and personal problems news. Justin Kevin and his once flourishing romance with mistress Sharina Hudson has met its demise. Wendy initially dismissed these claims on her show, but by 2019, she had moved to a sober house and subsequently filed for divorce. According to our sources, Hudson is preparing to request child support. How will Kevin handle this, particularly given how deeply in debt he is? He once believed that the courts would be his safety net, but it appears that they're more like a tight RPP, and he's walking it without a safety harness. Recently, we've heard a term called karma, which refers to Wendy, who was the victim of Ken's financial misbehavior and infidelity, believing that what he's going through is simply that the man who once took advantage of Wendy's success by treating her with contempt and stealing from her wealth now finds himself pleading for financial relief. Successful I got and he got, and we believed in each other, the more of a jerk he became. The path Kevin is on could lead him straight to jail time. His massive debts combined with a potential ability to pay child support could make jail time a real possibility. We have to wonder if Kevin exaggerated his contributions to the "it's obvious" that without Wendy's help, Kevin's empire has crumbled, but rumors persist that he's trying to get back in touch with her, possibly to borrow money from her again. Kevin Jr., who is close to Wendy, has publicly expressed worries about those who surround his mother. The CLA asserts that they put profit before Wendy's welfare. Is Kevin sincere in his intentions? Or is this just another ploy in a series of well-thought-out moves? We're still waiting to hear if the Wendy Williams Show producers will give Kevin a financial break, but given his past performance, will any potential money be wisely spent? Right now, Kevin's opulent life is in disarray. It's a story of a man who once had the world at his feet, and as the drama plays out, fan chatter is nothing short of fascinating. One fan wisely remarks, "Don't you just love karma?" That's why when folks do me wrong, I just sit back and wish them the best, because I'm a true believer of it's not what you say or do, it's all about how you do it. Another perceptive observer brought up a historical point, casting doubt on the possibility that Kevin's debts would force him into prison. I don't understand how this nation outlawed Dee's prison so long ago, but they didn't rule out the possibility of legal issues entirely, deciding that jail for failing to pay child support is a more likely scenario. They further illustrated a chain of events, suggesting that Kevin's own actions brought him to this dire situation, commenting that it's strange how he finally challenged Kevin's assertions of his critical role in the Wendy Williams show. One commentator put forth succinctly, asking why Kevin wasn't more valuable than he believed, and how much of Kevin's contributions were actually part of the show, and how much was just him, rioting on Wendy's coils. This is where we want to hear from you. First, do you believe Kevin was genuinely essential to the Wendy Williams show's success, or was he just enjoying the glory of Wendy's unquestionable star power? Secondly, in light of Kevin's turbulent life, do you think he will ever fully recover, or is this his last curtain call? Comment below until the next time. Continue to listen and to be a rumor hound.